Good evening, everyone. This is Robert. RJL Network presents a special presentation of Fall Classic Baseball. The 1919 One and Gone tournament is on the air. Welcome, everyone, to Fall Classic Baseball. I've been wanting to give this game another try for the longest time. And because I've been watching other people playing it, and there is a bit of an excitement to it that maybe I didn't see when I was playing it, the last time. So I wanted to give this game another try. I tried it with the 1986 New York Mets, and I just felt like it didn't have what I was looking for. Of course, to me, nothing will replace inside pitch, but I wanted to give Fall Classic Baseball another crack, and I thought a one and gone tournament would be a good idea. This is going to be the year 1919 One and Gone. The reason why I chose this season is because I happen to be a big favorite of the movie 8 Men Out, which detailed the 1919 Black Sox scandal. It's actually my favorite baseball movie, is the 1919 8 Men Out. Movie was great. Book was even better, by the way. But I wanted to play the 1919 we play some dead ball, because a lot of people have been asking to maybe play some dead ball era, and we get to see some legends in this season that we wouldn't see in inside pitch until Chris Davis creates any teams from before 1956 or 1940s and 1930s. We won't see any of those players in inside pitch until he figures out a way to do that. But Fall Classic Baseball has a lot of seasons. Pretty much has almost every season. It's missing a few, but pretty much any season you want that you feel like you want to play will work in with a Fall Classic. You do get all the players. If there are none carded, there's still some fringe players that you get free that you print out on the printer. And so you pretty much get all the players, you get all the ballparks, you get everything in Fall Classic Baseball. Fall Classic Baseball was created by a man by the name of Greg Sovan. He recently passed away and turned over now Bink Tremaine now takes over the game, as he's continued the system. Made a couple of changes to slight nuance changes to the rules. And I have a few new rules and such. So I thought we would go ahead and give Fall Classic Baseball another try. So we're going to do a one and gone tournament. It plays like APA, payoff pitch, and Stratomatic, pretty much a combination of all three in a way. So it utilizes dice. It does have charts, or you can utilize fast action cards. There are 4 separate decks of these. I have all 4, and I chose one deck for the game. It's already been shuffled and ready to go. And we'll see this in action. This is not going to be a teaching game. I'm not going to do a tutorial on this, because my knowledge of this game I'm not the one to really ask many questions on this game. The guy to ask, of course, is Tony Porter at Dice Baseball Dice Baseball Digest. He's the guy to ask any questions on it. He is to Fall Classic that I am to inside pitch. So I will give him all the credit for this game. We are going to do, as I said, a one and gone tournament. There were 16 teams in 1990, which means 1919. So we will do 15 games. I will do one game every other day. For those of you, by the way, who are waiting for Game 7 of my Stratomatic hockey between the Bruins and the Panthers, that will be tomorrow night. I actually wanted to play Saturday night, a little too tired, so I saved it. So instead I did a test game of Fall Classic on my own offline to see if I can get some of the rules in. And, we'll see how this goes. So forgive me if I move a little bit on the slow side. I do have the rule books right next to me. I have the main charts that I think I need. This is 1919, so this is the dead ball era. So don't expect a lot of, should not be so many don't be expecting a lot of home runs and all that stuff. This is dead ball. So, anything is, a lot can happen here in the dead ball era. So we're going to start, of course, with the number 16 seed versus the number 1 seed. And the number 16 seed is the Philadelphia Athletics. And this team was, they were pretty bad. They were 36 wins, 104 losses. They were terrible. Connie Mack was the manager of this team. He was the manager of the team. So Connie Mack, here for the Philadelphia Athletics, they were the worst team in 1919. So that makes them the number 16 seed. They are playing the number 1 seed, the 1919 Cincinnati Reds. We are at Redland Field, which really is, becomes Crosley Field later. So Redland Field does become Crosley, but it's called Redland at this time. Cincinnati had a record of 96-44. They won the World Series that year due to the Black Sox scandal. And who knows? I was thinking of maybe doing a World Series replay between the White Sox and the Reds, and I may still do that after this is done. So we'll see what happens. We are going to do a 3-man rotation. As you know, most pitchers usually went pitched and then only had 2 days rest and we're ready. We'll do a 3-man rotation. So that means that the top pitchers will face each other in the championship game of this. It's a one-and-gone tournament. It is a one-and-gone tournament, which means 1 loss and you're out. And that is what we're going to do tonight. And hopefully we'll see we got some interesting names on the board. And we'll see what happens. Thomas Line, Ben Wicks, Clee Baseball Fan, Doug Hunt, Brian B., John Haverly join us here at Redland Field. So we will see what happens tonight between the Philadelphia Athletics and the Cincinnati Reds. I know Brian B. will be rooting for his Reds all the way. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Yes, the World Series in 1919 was a best of 9. It was not a best of 7. And they only played 140 regular season games that year in 1919. They did not play a full 150. The 154-game schedule, I think, started again in 1920 or 21. I'm not 100% sure when they went back to 154, which was the main. They only had 140 games in 1919. It may have been, I couldn't find out why it started, why they started with only 140 games. Maybe it was due to the end of World War I, because World War I had just ended the year before. So I'm really not 100% sure. You are correct, XSG2. The 1919 Reds did have more wins than the White Sox that year. That is correct. So, if everybody is ready to go, Jeremy Brooks now joins us here at Redland Field. And we're ready to go. So, let's take a look and see how Fall Classic Baseball will play out. Starting pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds will be their number 1 starter, Slim Sallee. He had a record of 21 wins and 7 losses at a 106 whip. The pitcher cards for Fall Classic does not put ERA on there. So I will clarify the whip for Slim Sallee. He only had 24 strikeouts that year. Not a strikeout pitcher. And I'm making him the number 1 starter for the Reds. Slim Sallee. Yeah, it does sound like a rapper, Slim Shady or something like that. So Slim Sallee. And if I butcher any of these names, please tell me the right way to say their names. We got a lot of strange ones here. So Slim Sallee. Now, of course, we do have. Now, the first thing you do is you roll a bullpen, and to see which one you'll have. So we have A, B, or C. I'm going to play rules as written. I'm not going to make any changes to these rules as best as I can, because I just want to play the game as it was done. So there's going to be a rules as written. So we roll a D20, and Slim Sallee is going to have a 17, and he's not going to have his best stuff. So he's going to be a C. So any off of his pitcher card will be on that. So Slim Sallee, is going to may have a rough day. Did not have a good bullpen session. So we'll see what he does. We'll roll for the Athletics pitcher when he comes up to pitch. So let's go to the top of the first, the Athletics and the Reds. And we'll get started here. Leading off for the Athletics is going to be the second baseman, Whitey Witt, a 267 average, no homers, and 33 RBIs. We're going to use red, white, and red dice. Reds are the home team, so we'll use their colors. And we'll see what happens here. So let's try some Fall Classic baseball. The One and Gone tournament is underway. Let's pitch. And the first thing is a 55, and that starts as a single plus for Whitey Witt. So the first thing he does is get a base hit, and that plus means he can try to steal if you use the automatic steal session. And his stolen base rating is a 10. I'm not going to send. I'm going to go. It don't have to be an automatic steal if you use that. So I'm not going to. I am not going to send him to second base. So Whitey Witt leads off the game with a base hit. So the next batter will be the third baseman, Fred Thomas, a 212 average, 2 homers, and he had 23 RBIs in 19. And the thing about it, what I had to do is I had to realize that I do not have to do a strategy roll with runners on base. I was rolling strategy rolls in my test game last night between these two teams. I didn't have to do that. So Whitey Witt is on at first, and let's see what we get. So we roll, and that is a 31. Thomas's card says a 31 as a blank, so we go to Sallee, and Sallee's card's going to be a single. So now we draw a card here, and we'll see it. So it's be a base hit to left field, and first to third, Whitey Witt is, and you check to here to see what it is. It says base hit to left field, 1 to 3 holds. So Whitey Witt is only going to get to second base, and he'll hold there. And I'll keep the cards. I'll go ahead and keep the cards at least on the board, at least for the time until after every half inning. Phoenix Knight joins us here at Redland Field. So already runners at first and second for the Athletics. And that next batter is going to be center fielder Tilly Walker, a 292 average, 10 homers actually, and 64 RBIs. So runners at first and second already. So Slim Sallee already in some trouble. Last night's game, I'll tell you right now, was 0-0 most of the way. Sallee, 60. So Walker, 63. That's a blank. And we go to Sallee's card. That's going to be an out. And that's going to be a pop out to short, or refer to the white die for original roll. I do that. That's a 3. That's going to be a pop out to first base. So Walker pops out to first. And that's going to be out number 1. So first out there as Walker pops out. And if anybody knows how to play this game better than me, please do if I make a mistake. Next batter will be the first baseman, George Oh God Burns. 296 average. He had 8 homers and 57 RBIs. So runners at first and second, still 1 out. And now it is a 32. George Burns' 32 is a blank. And Slim Sallee's 32 is going to be an out. And again here, and that's going to be a fly out. We'll check the card. And it's going to be a fly out to right field. And a second to third. Now it's second to third holds. A very fast runner advances. But Whitey Witt is an A runner, as you can see there. Maybe I need to bring the cards down a bit more. So Whitey Witt has average speed. He's not going anywhere. And that is going to be out number 2, a fly out to right. So now 2 outs. And that will bring up the right fielder, Brago Roth. Now, as I said, the one thing about playing dead ball era, you get a lot of baseball names. And that definitely is a baseball name. Brago Roth is definitely a baseball name. And he is a 323 average, though. He had 5 home runs and 29 RBIs. Are the outs based on random cards? Yes, they are based on random cards. Yes, they are. But there is a difference in the batting if it's a lefty or a righty. There are ways to do it. You don't have to use these cards. You can actually use the D20 to decide where the out goes and charts if you wish. But I bought the cards. I'd rather use the cards. So now there are 2 outs, runners at first and second here on the top of the first. And that's a 41. That's a blank on Roth. And a 41 is going to be a walk for Sallee. So Sallee off to a rough start here, and the bases are loaded. That's going to be the first walk given up by Sallee. So the Athletics start with bases loaded here. Sallee did have Slim Sallee. Tells you how many strikeouts he had. It doesn't tell you how many walks he had, though, on these cards. So already the base is loaded. And now the batter will be Joe Dugan. He is the shortstop for the Athletics. And he had a 271 average, 30 RBIs, and had only 1 home run. So 2 outs, bases loaded here for the Athletics in the top of the first. Yes, Webb Johnson, Dev09 GLA joined it here. XSG2 at Redland Field. So bases loaded. Can Slim Sallee get out of the inning? And that is a 42, and that's going to be an out, and he will. And let's see now. He is a batted right, so you go to here to ground ball to shortstop. It says ground out to shortstop, and that's what it is. So Dugan's going to ground out to short, had it taken care of by Larry Koff, and they are going to get out of the inning. So no runs, 2 hits and a walk for the Athletics, and we will go to the bottom of the first as Sallee gets out of the jam. Midlife Crisis joins us here at Redland Field. So as I said, if I make any mistakes, any of you guys know, please let me know the error that I did. Starting pitcher for the Philadelphia Athletics in this game is going to be Rollie Naylor. 5 wins, 18 losses at a 1.34 whip. He had 68 strikeouts. He did have 17 complete games. So how do you have only 5 wins and yet 17 complete games? That's pitching for you in the dead ball era. Rollie Naylor will roll a bullpen session, and that's an 11. His stuff's going to be normal. So Rollie Naylor will actually be in better shape than Sallee, but we'll see what the Reds do here in the bottom of the first. So bottom of the first inning here, and leading off for the Reds, the World Series champions from that year, is going to be the second baseman, Maury Rath. 264 average. He had a homer and 29 RBIs in 69. Donald Cummings joins us here at Redland Field. So let's see what the Reds have here, and let's go ahead. Let's see, 35. That's going to be, 35 is a blank on Rat's card. That's a 1 to 12 would be a single on Naylor's card. That's a 10, and that's going to be a base hit. So Maury Rath will lead off with a single for the Reds. Last night, I did a test game between these two. The Reds won the game 1-0 in 11 innings. And already, this game is already rolling different. Next batter for the Reds is going to be the first baseman. Now, I don't know if it's pronounced Jake Daubert or Jake Daubert, as and if he's French. So someone please tell me about that. So I'm going to say Jake Daubert. He is the first baseman, a 276 average, 2 homers, and he had 44 RBIs in 19. So Rath is on at first, and Naylor will pitch. Naylor, 11, and let's see a Daubert's card. That is a 17, and that's going to be an out, and that's going to be a ground out to second base. Ground ball to second, said runner advance and ground out to second here, and it will say runner advances to second 4-3. So it's a ground ball. It's a ground out to second, and Maury Rath though will go to first. Will go to second base, and Daubert is going to be thrown out at first. So that will be a ground out to second. The only play was the first. And the next batter is going to be the third baseman, Heine Groh. 310 average, 5 homers, 11 RBIs. He was from Stramoken, PA, so probably now it's Daubert. Okay. Not French for Daubert. Okay. So Heine Groh was the next batter here. Runner on at second base. So let's see what happens. And that is a 15, and that is an out X. And I know the rule on that, if it's an X, that's, I think, a double play, but only grounder double play of a ground out and a runner on first. So it is not. So the runner is not on first. So we roll the card, and that's going to be a fly out to left field. Runner will hold. So Heine Groh flies out to left, and that is out number 2. Glad to have everybody here for some Fall Classic Baseball. Thank you for joining me. As I said, be patient with me. This is the first time I played the game in a long while. Next batter is going to be the center fielder, Ed Roush. 321 average, 71 RBIs, 4 homers for the Reds. Ed Roush is the next batter there. As I said, I will be playing a game every other day. So game number 2 of this tournament will be Tuesday night. And that will be the Brooklyn Robins taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates at Forbes Field. So we roll, and that's a 53, and that is a KD defense. Naylor 1-2 would be a strikeout. The 13 is high. So now we go to the KD defense chart, and it's a range check, second baseman single, and a 1 star. So second baseman single. The second baseman is Witt. His range is a 4. That's a 13. That's going to be higher than that, and that's going to be a 1 base single. And I got to check what the TE stands for there. So let me look what that means on the card. So second baseman T plus TE, which I've not seen. So let me see what that stands for. That's the first time I've seen that on the card. So let's see. I got the defense chart here. So TE, if single TE, here it is. So I kept the D20 chart here. So single TE, if the D20 roll results in a single, then roll again versus the fielder's error rating. If it's an error, then the batter goes to second and all runners advance 2 bases. With 2 out, a fast runner on first base scores. Okay, so it is a it's past the second base. So that is a third. Actually, I got to roll the 13 because it was not a strikeout. So I got to re-roll that. And that is a 2. Actually, is going to make the play. My bad. That is a 2. For range and error ratings, a lower error rating is better. A higher range is better. So equal to or less on a range play, the player makes the play. Error rating or over the rate, the player does not make an error. It's a little bit strange. So that's a second base, but he is going to make that's an error. Oh, that's right. That's a range check. It's on 53. So 53, and that was a range check, and he's going to make the play because the range for Witt is a 4. That is a 2. He's actually going to make the play, and he is going to throw to first to get the out. Because it's not a single, so that's going to be an out. So that's going to be no runs and a hit for the Reds, and that will retire the side. Because I have to re-roll that because I used that 13 in for the KD rating. You got to re-roll if you use it once. So that's it. So no score here after 1. I'm not going to move as fast as I usually do for inside pitch. I mean, if we were playing inside pitch 24 minutes in the stream, I'd probably be already at the 4th or 5th inning. But we're going to have some fun with the Fall Classic. Top of the second, and leading off for the Athletics is going to be Merlin Kopp. He is in left field, 226 average, 12 RBIs and a homer. So Slim Sallee using the C column in this game. Sallee, let's see, 41, and that's going to be a walk. A 41, and it's a blank here. You go to that, and that's going to be a walk. So Sallee gives up a walk to Kopp, and that's already the second walk given up by Sallee. And that will bring up the catcher, Cy Perkins. 252 average, 29 RBIs and 2 home runs. The lineups I'm using, by the way, are courtesy of Baseball Reference. I chose pretty much the most used players and then decided to get the lineups from them. since I really don't know much about some of these players. So I figure I just go with the lineups they would use in a game like this. So Cop on at first. Sallee already in some trouble here again. And no, they didn't need a pitch clock. 41, and that's going to be another walk. So Sallee is having a rough game here so far. He walks another batter. So now 2 walks. And that will bring up the pitcher, Rollie Naylor. He had a 169 average and 4 RBIs, and his sacrifice fly rating is pretty good. It's a sacrifice bunting rating is a 5. That's good for him to bunt. So we'll probably see Rollie Naylor do a bunt, and I have a bunt, and I have the bunt chart here on the cards. So let's see what we got here. So let's going to go ahead and roll a bunt. So they're going to try to bunt. Rollie Naylor's going to try to bunt the runners over. And the bunt is a 5, and that is good. That's if determines if the bunt was laid down. If greater than the SH rating, it's a strikeout. It's not. The bunt is laid down, and also tells who fields the bunt. That is a 5. It's bunted. It's It's taken by the third baseman. Now we determine if it's a good sacrifice bunt. So we re-roll. We roll another D, and that is a 1, and that is going to be a good sacrifice bunt. So that is going to be a good bunt by Rollie Naylor. And the runners will move up. And the only play is to first base. And that is out number 1. So a nice sacrifice hit by Rollie Naylor. As that is a sacrifice hit to third. Next batter is Witt. And the infield is going to play in. Remember, this is a one-and-gone game, so you don't want many runs to score here. So runners at second and third, 1 out. Sallee will go ahead and pitch. And that is a 33 for Witt, and that's going to be a base hit for Whitey Witt. That's going to be a single, and that's going to be a base hit to left field. Runner on third scores, of course, Merlin Kopp, as he will come in to score. Second to home, it's an assist chance. So that's it to left field. Left fielder is Sherry McGee, and his assist rating is a 0. So there's not going to, with that kind of thing, there's no way he can throw him out at the plate. And that he's going to, actually makes the throw anyway. But Cy Perkins is going to go ahead and score from second. And Witt goes to second on the throw. And that's going to be a 2-0 lead for the A's. Stadium groans. So I'm going to list that as a 2 RBI double by Whitey Witt, taking second base on the throw, and the A's have a 2-0 lead, and it's already a much different game than last night's was, because I went 11 innings with nobody out. Wonder why I'm having problems with the chat. I can see my chat keeps on connecting and disconnecting, so hopefully you guys will stay with me. I'll keep an eye on it. So Whitey Witt is now at second base, still only 1 out here in the top of the second. The Athletics have a 2-0 lead. And the batter is Thomas. Thomas got a base in his first time up. And Sallee will go ahead and he will pitch. I may not roll the D20 at the same time. I might save that. So let's see what we go here. So he'll pitch to Thomas. And that's a 15, and that's going to be an out. And it's going to be a line out. Let's see, that's a 5. That's a line out to third base. Runner on second or first is doubled off at less than 2 out. And he is. Wow. Because he used the white die here. Line out to third will refer to white die from original die roll. And that a 5. And that is a line out to third base with 3 stars. Runner on second or first is doubled off at less than 2 outs. There is. And the inning is over as it hit right to third. Groves got it. Throws to second to double off Witt. And the inning is over. That is an L5-4 double play. 2 runs on only 1 hit and a couple of walks as Slim Sallee gets out of it. But the A's have a 2-0 lead here going in the bottom of the second. So bottom of the second coming up, 2-0 Athletics. I keep on losing you guys. I don't know why my chat keeps on getting disconnected. I know there was issues or something like that, but at least I don't know what's up here with this. But everything still seems to be working. I don't know. But we'll see what happens here. I don't know what's up with this system these days. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning. And leading off for the Reds is going to be Greasy Neal. Greasy Neal will lead off for the Reds. He is in right field, 242 average, 54 RBIs, and a home run. Greasy Neal is going to lead off for the Reds here. And what was the typical roster size in 19? Typical roster size, I think, was still a 25-man roster, but they only had like 6 or 7 pitchers, right? So not much of a bullpen. The rules, one of the other rules I'm using, every batter or pitcher, if they're in the main pack, is available. I'm not using roster sizes. So every pitcher, batter is available. I'm not using roster sizes. There's not going to be any fatigue. I will have injuries. If any injury occurs, I will use that. So there will be, I'm not going to use roster sizes. There are a couple of fringe players that are not with the main carded set. These are printed sets, not PDF. Okay. I'm not using them. So Greasy Neal, he will lead off against Naylor. And that's a 34, and that is going to be a single. 1 to 12 is a single. That's a 16. That's going to be an out, and that's going to be a line out to right field. If white die is a 1, the right fielder makes a sliding catch, but it doesn't matter. It's just a line out to right, and that is out number 1. That's an L9. Next batter is going to be Larry Koff. He's at shortstop for the Reds, 270 average, 58 RBIs. He didn't have any home runs. We'll catch you later there, Brian B. No problem. No problem. Yes, very nice cards, and they feel very nice in the hands. They're very smooth. They're pretty much really maybe a little stronger than inside pitch cards, but they're glossy. They can take some punishment. So let's see what we got here. 15, and that's going to be an out. And he's a switch hitter from the left side, and that's going to be a ground ball to first. And that'll be taken care of there by Burns. He'll take it to the bag himself for out number 2. So 2 outs. And now next up is the left fielder, Sherry McGee. 215 average, 21 RBIs. He had no home runs. Naylor will go ahead and he will pitch. And that's a 52. And that is a KD defense chart. And so let's see. That's a possible strikeout. A 1 to 2, it's a strikeout. It's not. So now we go to the KD chart. So we go to the 52. This is an error chance. And a possible error for the shortstop. A 1-base error. Shortstop for the Philadelphia Athletics is Dugan. His error rating is a 15. And he will, I think he makes an error. If I'm right, higher is better, lower is bad. I think that's an error on Joe Dugan. And if I'm correct, I think that's right. So, what I need to do is I need to write something out on that, but I believe that is true. So let's see. So the D20 is less than or equal to the error rating of the fielder. He makes an error. So yeah, so less than, so it is an error on Joe Dugan. So McGee is going to be safe at first. So that is going to be an E6 on Joe Dugan. That's the first error for the Athletics in the ball game. So McGee is on first. And that will bring up the catcher, Ivy Wingo, 273 average, 27 RBIs. He had no home runs. So 2-0 Athletics here, bottom of the second. And Naylor will go ahead and pitch. McGee on at first. And that is a 14. That's going to be an out. It'll get out of it. And batting left, that's going to be a ground out to second, taken care of there by Witt. And the throw will go to first and retire the side. No runs, no hits. There was an error, but the Reds couldn't do anything with it. 2-0 after 2. Glad you've joined us for some fall classic baseball action. As I continue, I'll get better with the game as we move forward. Top of the third, and leading off for the A's will be Tilly Walker, and he's 0 for 1. And that's a 14. That's going to be an out, and it will be a fly out to left field. Hit over there to Sherry McGee, and that's the first out. One down. Here comes Burns. Burns is 0 for 1. And that's a 31, and that's going to be a base hit given up by Sallee. Burns is going to have a single. So Burns gets his first hit of the game. Runner on first. Already a much different game than I played last night. And now here's Roth. Roth walked his first time up. And that's a 44, and Roth is going to get a triple. Brago Roth hits one deep into the corner of Redland Field. Burns is going to round third. There's no way they're going to get him, and that's going to be a 3-bagger for Brago Roth, and the Athletics take a 3-0 lead. Stadium groans. RBI triple by Roth. And he is now on at third. 3-0 Athletics. And now we'll bring up Dugan. The infield has to come in here. Slim Sallee definitely not having a good outing at the moment. Much different game than last night. So runner on at third. The infield is in. And that's a 65. Home run the pitcher, but minus 11. And Sallee, a 1-14 minus 11 would be a 3. So a 1-3, this is gone. It's not. It's going to be an out. And it's going to be a deep fly ball to center field. Going to be a deep fly out to center field. And that's going to be caught by Ed Roush. But the runner on third, all advance, strong arm holds. So that's hit to center field. Now, center fielder is Roush, and he does have a strong arm, which means Brago Roth will not score. As it says here, third to home, all advance, but S arm holds. And center fielder is Ed Roush, and he has an S6 arm, which means it's a strong arm. Roth will not score. That is out number 2. And now the batter is Kopp. So fly out to center. And Kopp has walked his first time up. And that is a 13. That's going to be an out. And it will be another fly ball to center field. Getting to that again will be Roush. He'll make the catch and retire the side. 1 run on 2 hits for the Athletics. And they have a 3-0 lead going in the bottom of the third. So right now, the Reds, who historically won the World Series this year, are right now 3 runs down. Leading off for the Reds will be the pitcher, Slim Sallee. He had a 189 average and 7 RBIs. And that's a 16. That's a swing and a miss. He struck him out. And that is the first strikeout for Rollie Naylor. He only had 68 of them in 1919. So he is down for out number 1. Next batter is Rath. Rath got a single his first time up. 41, and that's a walk. Rath will go ahead. You can always check to see what's happening if you look at the things here and you go right to the pitcher card. So, and a 41 is usually always a walk. So that's a walk for Rath, and Rath is going to be on base again. He does have stolen base rating, but I'm not going to try to steal him. You're down by 3 runs here. Here's Daubert. Daubert is 0 for 1. So Rath on at first. Naylor will pitch. And that's a 64, and that's going to be an out. And that will be a fly out to center. That's it to center field, and Walker is going to get to that, and he'll make the catch for out number 2. And now Groh. Groh is 0 for 1. Fans here at Redland Field saying, hey, come on, we're supposed to beat the Athletics here. Naylor will deal, and that's a 46. That's a no park home run. That goes to the ballpark card, and that is a 2. And Groh is a righty, and that's going to be a 1-2, and he'll bring in a run. So you go to the ballpark card, that is a 2. So 46, no park home run, so we can't hit a home run. But he's a righty, and a 1-2 says that is a double and all score. So Heine Groh hits a 2-out double, and that's going to bring in Maury Rath, and it's 3-1. So finally, the Reds are on the board on an RBI double by Groh. And he goes to second base. And the Reds break the seal. So now 3-1. And here is Roush. Roush is 0 for 1. Naylor 25, and that's going to be an out. And it will be a fly ball to center once again. And getting to that again is going to be Walker. And he's going to make the catch. Retire the side. 1 run, 1 hit, and a walk. But the Reds are on the board 3-1 here after 3. Where did all my watchers go? I had like as much as 20 people watching. They all disappeared on me. Probably because of system issues. But that's okay. They can catch a replay if they wish. Good to have people who are here. We go to the top of the 4th, 3-1 Athletics. And it will be Cy Perkins leading off for the A's. He walked his first time up. By the way, Slim Sallee can pitch to 36 batters before he tires. Sallee will pitch, and that's a 56, and that's going to be an out. And it will be a fly ball hit to left field. And getting to that will be a nice play by McGee, and that is the first out. Next up is Naylor. Naylor sacrificed his first time up. 63, and that's going to be also an out, and that'll be a fly out to left. Getting to there again will be McGee, and he will make the catch for the out. Now the batter is Witt. Witt is 2 for 2 today, a single and a 2 RBI double. Sallee, 32, and that's going to be also an out, and that's going to be a fly ball hit to right. And going to there will be Neal, and he'll make the catch and retire the side. That's a good 1-2-3 inning by Sallee, and we go to the bottom of the 4th. Leading off for the Redlegs will be Greasy Neal. Greasy Neal, he is 0 for 1. Naylor can pitch to 36 batters before he tires. The days of pitching when you can go through the lineup 4 times and not worry about it. Naylor, 14, that's an out. And that is going to be a fly ball hit to left. Easy play there for Kopp. And that is out number 1. Next batter is Kopp. Kopp is 0 for 1. And 11, and that's going to be an out. Kopp only had a 270 average. Mostly doubles usually are hits, but that is going to be an out. And that's going to be a line drive hit right. A line drive hit right back to the pitcher. Naylor will snare it. And that is an L1 for out number 2. It's right back to Naylor. And now McGee. McGee is reached on an error his first time up. 1,300 complete games pitched in 1919. So he didn't see much bullpen. And here comes the pitch. 14, that's going to be an out. And it's going to be a fly ball to right field. And going to that will be Roth. And he'll make the catch and retire the side. 1, 2, 3, go the Reds. They are down 3-1 after 4. Remember, you only get one chance. This is one and gone. You don't get there, you are done. We go to the top of the 5th, and it will be Fred Thomas coming on the bat. He is 1 for 2. With this, playing 19-19 baseball, I'm pretty much going to let the pitchers pitch until they actually get tired, or unless I absolutely have to make a pinch hitter. Sallee will go ahead and pitch to Thomas. That's a 32, and that's going to be an out. Easy play there for a ground ball hit to short. Taken care of there easily by Kopp, and he will throw it over for out number 1. Next up is Walker. Walker's 0 for 2. You're still here. 1919 was famous because of the Black Sox. Absolutely. Wonder what these players would have thought of a DH rule. I'm pretty sure none of these pitchers wanted that rule. Sallee, 44 at 45, and that's going to be an out. And it will be a fly out to right field. Taken care of there by Neal. And that is the second out of the inning. Next up is Burns. Burns is 1 for 2. Sallee pitches 55, and that's a 14, and that's going to be a triple for George Burns. 55 and a 1 to 12 would be a double, but that's a 14. That goes to being a triple. So Burns is going to get a triple here. He had 9 of them in 1919, and that is a triple for Burns. So the Athletics have a big run at third base. And now here's Roth. George Martini Burns. So Burns on at third. Here's Roth. He got a triple his last time up. He's 1 for 1. 2 outs here, though. Top of the 5th, 3-1 Athletics. So Slim Sallee got to try to get out of this jam. That's a 14, and he will. That will be an out, and it will be a ground out to short. Taken care of there by Kopp. He's got it, throws to first. And that will end the inning. No runs and a hit for the Athletics. Still 3-1 in favor of the A's in game 1 of this one and gone tournament. We'll have a total of 15 games. There are 16 teams in the 1919 season. So we'll have a total of 15 games. Doing one game every other day. By the time I get done with this tournament, there'll only be about 2 weeks left before the 1983 demo game for inside pitch. Bottom of the 5th inning, and Ivy Wingo leads off for the Reds. And he is 0 for 1. So Rollie Naylor will go ahead and pitch. And that's a 34, and that's a 1, and that is, go to the pitcher card, that's a base hit. Wingo gets a leadoff single for the Reds. And that will bring up Sallee. Sallee, a good sacrifice hitter. He has an ASH of 5. Not a bad overall hitter, but he's going to try to. He is going to. I know they're down by 2 runs, but I would think Sallee would still bunt here. So, and this is 1919 baseball. I think he would still bunt, and he is going to bunt. So the red die will be the first die. The white die will be the second. So Slim Sallee, his sacrifice hit rating is a 5. And that is a 2. It's going to be a good bunt. That is bunted bunted right down at the plate, picked up there by Perkins. He'll make the throw to first for out number 1. Wingo will go to second. So sacrifice hit at the plate by the catcher, and that works to perfection for Sallee, and Wingo will go to second base. There is 1 out, though. Here comes Rath. Rath is 1 for 1, a single and a walk. Naylor, and 22, and that's an 8. That's a base hit for Maury Rath. That's going to be a single. Let's see what it is, and that's going to be a base hit to left field. Second to home, an F and A score Ivy Wingo is a fast runner, average runner score. Wingo is a fast runner. He will come in and he will score. It's 3-2. So Ivy Wingo comes around from second and scores. The bunt was the right call. And now it's a 3-2 ball game. Stadium cheers. Yay! RBI single by Maury Rath. As Cutter Historical joins us here at Redland Field. And yes, we will talk about some of the players that you will see in this tournament, because yes, we don't get to talk about them because Inside Pitch doesn't go this far back. And who knows, I may do a fall classic baseball replay in the future, season replay, if I like the game, which I still like the game. And I think some of the rules changes helped. So Raptors on at first. The batter is Daubert. So the tying run now at first base. And Naylor will go ahead and pitch. And that's a 35. And that is a 1-12 is a single. That's a 5. It's a base hit for Daubert. And base hit to center field, 1-3, faster advance. Faster average advance. Rath is an average runner. He will make third. And here come the Reds. So a single by Daubert. And now Naylor in trouble here, 3-2. And it will bring up Reds' best hitter, Groh. Groh is 1 for 2. He had an RBI double his last time up. The infield is going to play. They're going to play the infield in. That's the tying run. If this was a series, it'd be one thing, but it's only one game for all the marbles. So you got to play it you got to pretty much play each game like a game 7. So Heine Groh will bat. Naylor still pitching. Runners at the corners here. Fans here at Redland Field getting excited. Pat Moran, the manager for the Reds. Connie Mack, the manager for the Athletics. That's the one thing I like about these cards. It not only gives you the ballpark, but also tells you who the manager was. And that's also pretty good to know. So Naylor gets the sign from Perkins, and here comes the pitch. And that's a 46. No park home run. We go to the ballpark card. That is a 13. Grow a righty, and that's going to be a foul ball. He is a righty. That's going to be a foul ball in the first base territory. That's going to be a foul out as well. And going out there is Burns. He's going to make the catch in foul territory. And that goes as a foul out to first base. That's out number 2. Wow. Heine Groh fouls out. And they'll check you here the ballpark card. That's a 13. And against righties, it says foul out 10-16. And then you'll just check the base of the hitter, and it's a BR1 base. So first base line. So Groh fouls out, and that is out number 2. Next up is Roush. Roush is 0 for 2, but now 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. 3-2 Athletics. Naylor trying to get out of the jam. 23, and that's going to be an out. And that's going to be a ground ball hit to first base. That'll be taken there by Burns. And Naylor is he's gonna call off Naylor, and he will make the play and retire the side. 1 run, 3 hits for the Reds. An RBI single by Maury Rath. It's now 3-2 after 5. This game does have some things about it that I do like. I do like the cards. I like how they feel. That does come with every player. If you didn't get them carded, like in this kind of way, you just they automatically send you a download of all the other players, like pitchers, batting. Every pitcher will have a bat. There are even players that normally didn't have any bats. They will still card. And their seasons actually are pretty cheap. Seasons like from 1908 to 1960, they're like $50 each. $50 for the for the cards. The seasons are actually pretty cheap. They're not that expensive. They're cheaper than Stratomatic. Top of the 6th, 3-2 Athletics here over the Reds. Joe Dugan will come up to bat. Sallee staying on the mound. Yes, they do give you the PDF for free. That they do. That's something that Chris should do, is also send the PDF for free. If you buy the printed set, he should also send you the PDF for free, just in case. That's something he should do. But that's up to him for inside pitch. Sallee, 24, and a hit by pitch, 1-9. That's a 13. It won't be a hit by pitch. That's going to be an out. And that's going to be a line out to left field. Hit hard to McGee, but he'll make the play. Fly out to left, 1 down. Next batter is Kopp. And Kopp is 0 for 1 with a walk. Sallee, 51. That's a KD defense. A Z. That's not going to be a strikeout by Sallee. So I can still use that 9. So that is a 51 KD defense. So I'll check the card. And 51, a possible error on the first baseman. First baseman is Daubert. His error rating is a 12. That is a 9. I'm not going to re-roll it because I didn't use it. Well, actually, I do need to roll it. So a 1-12, it's going to be an error. It's a 3, and that's going to be an error on Daubert, and Kopp is going to be safe. I should just re-roll the die anyway. That's going to be an E3, and that is the first error on the Reds. I should just re-roll it because it was a 0, and I knew it wouldn't matter, but still I'll re-roll it. So that's an error on Jake Daubert. So that will be an error on error. Batter safe at first. And now the batter will be Perkins. 1 out. Runner on at first base. Sallee will go ahead and pitch. 14. That's going to be, now that is an out X, and that's going to be a double play. That's going to be a double play, and I'll show it's an out X. And out X means, if you look at the main rules, which I have here in front of me, out X, ground double play if a ground out and a runner on first. Well, there is a runner on first, so that's going to be, well, that's only, wait a minute, that's actually, it's a ground out. Wait, it's got to be a ground out. It's not an automatic double play, right? I got to first see if it's a ground out. Correct? Ground double play if a ground out and a runner on first. So I have to roll, so I have to pick a card to see if it is a ground out, and it is. It's a ground out to the shortstop. So that is going to be a 6-4-3 double play, and that will end the inning. So no runs, no hits. There was an error, and we go to the bottom of the 6th, 3-2. May I recommend your baseball history podcast, hosted by Dan Walk, who's the curator of the Shoeless Joe Jackson Museum. I can guarantee you we will see Shoeless Joe Jackson when the White Sox are on the board. I guarantee you, and we'll pretty sure have a little chat about that when he gets there. But yes, we will definitely see Shoeless Joe Jackson, absolutely. Bottom of the 6th, 3-2 A's. And leading off for the Reds will be Greasy Neal. He's 0 for 2. Rollie Naylor's done a good job tonight, but the Reds are only 1 run behind. 1 run behind here as we go to the bottom of the 6th. So Naylor will go ahead and pitch 64, and that's going to be an out, and it will be a ground out to short, and that'll be handled there by Dugan, and that is the first out. You know, the thing I was thinking about if there's nobody on base, I can really just use the D20 to decide what the out is. I really don't have to utilize the fast action cards to find out what the out is. I could just go by what the out is, because it really doesn't matter if there's nobody on base. So we will see. There is 1 out, though. And I want to use the cards because I did get them. Here's Kopp. Kopp is 0 for 1. You hope to see Shy Sox versus Detroit. Naylor, 14, and that's going to be an out on Kopp, and it will be a ground out to second. Hit over to Witt. And he throws it over to first for out number 2. I did shuffle these fast action cards as good as I did. I have all 4 sets. There are 4 different sets of fast action cards. I got all 4 sets, and I shuffled all 4 sets. So all I have to do is just grab a set for the next game. They're already all shuffled. Here's McGee. McGee is 0 for 1, but he reached on an error. So far, this is acting like a dead ball game. Naylor, 112. That's going to be an out on McGee, and that will be a ground out to third. Ground ball to third base. Up with it is Thomas, and he will throw it over and retire the side. 1, 2, 3, go the Reds. Running out of outs a little bit here. 3-2 after 6. Top of the 7th. And it will be the pitcher for the Athletics, Rollie Naylor. He's going to bat. He is 0 for 2. This is 1919, not 1969, not 2024. I'm pretty sure he would bat here. They did not use many pinch hitters, but 3-2. They're going to let Naylor's pitching pretty well. He's got plenty left in the tank. He'll bat. Sallee, 26. Now it's a split chance. A TL means a single. Means against the lefty, it would be a base hit. Sallee is a lefty, and that's going to be a single for Rollie Naylor. So Rollie Naylor gets a base hit, and he leads off for the Athletics. So Rollie Naylor's on first and saying, DH? I don't need no stinking DH. That'll bring up Witt. Witt is 2 for 3. He's got a single and a double. Naylor on it first. Sallee will pitch. And that's a 25. That's going to be an out. And that's going to be a fly out to center field. Going out there will be Roush. And he will make the play. Naylor stays at first. Next up is Thomas. Thomas is 1 for 3. I did ask the creator of Fall Classic a few questions, and he says you are going to see a lot of players thrown out, at home and back in the dead ball era. So Sallee will pitch to Thomas, and that's a 54. That's off the 54 chart. So the 54 chart is on the back of these cards. I'll skip one, and I'll take the next one. So 54 chart. So men on base, wild pitch or passed ball. Slim Sally's wild pitch rating is a 0. So that is not gonna be. He had no wild pitches in 1919, I guess. So no wild pitch. Passed ball, however, refer to pitcher's wild pitch rating, and if 13 falls in the range, it is. I don't know if I checked the pass ball rating as well, which is Wingo. Wingo's pass ball rating is a 1-6. Is a 1-6, so that's a 13. Still doesn't fall in the range. So that's not gonna. So that is not going to be. So no wild pitch. So we will roll again. So Sallee will go ahead and pitch, or is that an out? Hold on a minute. Let me see what happened. Let me check. I have the 54 chart. So let's see here. Base is empty. Men on base wild. Use only the original D20 to miss a wild pitch or pass ball, but I use the card. D20 falls wild pitch, then the ball gets by the catcher. Now the score commits by pass ball, wild pitch. First refer to the catchers. Okay, no. So the batter gets another roll of the dice whether or not there's a wild pitch or pass ball. Okay, that's what I thought. All right. Good thing I have that there. Very well. So we will have another roll. Yes, Philip Reynolds, it's not the inside pitch, Sallee, 22. And that's a 14. That's going to be an out on Thomas. And that's going to be a fly out to left. And that's hit to Sherry McGee for the second out. 2 outs. Now the batter is Walker. 3-2 Athletics. No, this is not version 4. And Walker is 0 for 3. Sallee, 3-2 A's. They won the World Series in 1919 over the Black Sox scandal. Sallee, 56, and that's going to be an out. They'll get out of that, and that will be a fly out to center field. Fly ball to center, and Ed Roush is going to get to it. He'll make the catch and retire the side. No runs and a hit for the A's, but they hold on a 3-2 lead here. We are at the 7th inning stretch. Sing, take me out to the ball game. I'll be right back. For those of you, again, wondering about my Stratomatic, there was no seventh inning stretch in 19. Well, there is here. For those of you wondering about my Stratomatic hockey series between the Bruins and the Panthers, Game 7 of that I will do tomorrow night. Game 2 of this one and gone tournament will be on Tuesday night. And it is going to be, will be Tuesday night. It'll be the number 9 versus the number 8 seed. And we'll be at Forbes Field, and that's going to be the number 9 Brooklyn Robins, and they will take on the number 8 Pittsburgh Pirates. Leon Kadori will pitch for the Robins, and Babe Adams will be going for the Pirates in that game. And you'll get to see some interesting players there tomorrow as well. So 19-19 one and gone game 2. The Robins and the Pirates, Leon Kadori against Babe Adams. That will be game number 2 of this one and gone. That will be Tuesday night. And of course, they will play the win. And that means whoever wins this game will play the winner of that game. So the Robins and the Pirates tomorrow night at Forbes Field. Yes, Forbes Field was still the main playground for the Pirates in 1919. Bottom of the 7th here, the Philadelphia Athletics lead the Reds 3-2. And the Reds got to try to tie this series up. The Reds won the World Series historically in 1919. Rollie Naylor will continue to pitch. And it will be Ivy Wingo batting for the Reds. He got a base hit his last time up. He's 1 for 2. 3-2 in favor of the A's. So Naylor will pitch. And that's a 63, and that is going to be an out. And it will be a ground ball right back to Naylor, a comebacker. And Naylor's going to get that. He'll toss it over to first for the out. One down. The batter is Slim Sallee. Now we're in the 7th inning. But you have nobody on base. I think Sallee would bat here. Sallee actually could hit. You have nobody on base. So there was a runner on base. I'd probably make a change. We'll probably make a change here. But I think Sallee was still bad. He had 74 at bats in 1919 for the Reds. He started 28 games that year. Sallee was actually the number 3 in the rotation for the Reds, I think. But he had the best ERA, so I decided to have him start. They are going to... You can still pitch to 6 more batters, but I'm going to go ahead and yank them. This is a one-game tournament. You got to win and move out. That's going to be it for Slim Sallee. They're going to go to the bench. So the Reds will go to the bench, and they're going to bring out... They're going to go ahead and bring out Jimmy Smith. He only had 40 at-bats, but he's a switch hitter. And I will make a few concessions in this kind of thing. Normally, I go with the player with the most at-bats, but he's the only switch hitter they got. So Jimmy Smith is going to come out for the Reds. He had a 275 average, 10 RBIs, and a bomb in 1919. So one out here is the Reds are going to go to a new pitcher. Naylor, 43, and that's going to be an out. And it will be a switch hitter, so he's hitting the left side, and that'll be grounded out to second, taken care of there by Witt. So 2 outs for the Reds, and now the batter is Rath. Rath is 2 for 2, 2 singles and a walk. Naylor, 42, and that's going to be a walk. He walks Rath, so Rath reaches base again. Rath has reached base all 4 times. 2 base hits and 2 walks. And now with a tying run at first, a big opportunity for Daubert. Daubert is 1 for 3. Got a single his last time up. So runner 2 outs, bottom of the 7th, 3-2 A's. Rath is on at first. Naylor will go ahead and he will pitch. 46, that is a nope that goes to the ballpark. No park home run for Daubert. And that is a 10. And against the lefty, that's going to be a foul ball hit into third base territory, but the third baseman, Fred Thomas, is going to have room. He's going to make the catch and retire the side. That is a foul out to third, and the inning is over. Nothing across except the walk as Daubert fouls out. Still 3-2 Athletics after 7. Top of the 8th, the Athletics will have 3 straight right-handers coming up. George Burns leads off for the A's. Reds are going to go to the bullpen. And coming on to pitch for the Reds is going to be Ray Fisher. As I said, I've chosen a 3-man rotation for each team, and the starters I put to the side, not available unless I need them. So Ray Fisher will come out to pitch for the Reds. 14 wins, 5 losses, had a 103 whip. And mostly also was a start. He started 20 games, but I made Fisher, let's see what kind of a bullpen session he has. And he's a 6. He's going to have good stuff. So Ray Fisher will come out to pitch to see if he can get the Reds, to see if they get a comeback. So George Burns leads off. He's 2 for 3. Fisher, 56, and that is going to be a strikeout. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Strikeout by Fisher. He had only 41 of them in 1919. Next up is Roth. Fisher, 11, and that's a single for Roth and a plus. So Braga Roth has a chance to steal as he gets a base hit. That's a big run. He's got a good stolen base rating of 14. So I'm going to check the steal and see what he wants to do. He does have the opportunity to steal. So stolen base attempt. So let's see what he wants to do here. Let me check that rule on stealing. Hold on 1 second. Check the rule on stealing real quick. So, got the rules right here. So stealing, let's see. You can call your own steal a second or third base any time. The first step, so the steal runner gets a jump, and if he does, then the steal can be attempted. So base stealing attempt. So let's see. Or we use the auto steal system. If the hit, walk, or hit by a player is open by a start, the batter can try to steal if second base is open. Refer to the SBS rating and roll a D20. See base stealing attempt above. Or number 2, the SBA rating. We're going to use the plus symbol, method 1. So he does have a chance to steal. So batter can try to steal if second base is open. Go to the SBS rating, roll D20. See base stealing attempt. So his SBS rating is a 14. Ray Fisher's hold. Let's see. I don't know if he has a hold rating. Let's see. I don't think so. So let's roll it. So let's do it here. Let's do it right. So let's see here. He's going to try to steal. So roll a 1d20 for the SBS rating of the runner. If the d20 is 1 to 5, refer to the catcher's E rating. If it's a steal or an extra base on a bad throw. So Braga Roth is at 14, and the catcher Ivy Wingo has an average arm, so it's not going to be any change to Roth's stolen base rating. So if the d20. Okay. So it's a 1 to 14. Roth steals second base. And he does. And that is a 4. And that is a 4. If the D20 is from 1 to 5, refer to the catcher's E rating. And if equal to or less than, it's a steal and an extra base on the bad throw. Error rating for Wingo is a 1. So the only way it's an error is if it's a 1. It's not. So Roth gets a stolen base. That is a big run at second. So stolen base for Braga Roth. And now the batter is Dugan. I'll learn more about stolen bases as I move forward. So Roth is now on at second base Well, a stolen base, and now Dugan the batter. So Dugan is 0 for 3. Ray Fisher got to try to keep that runner at second. 3-2 A's. Fisher, let's see, 26. And now it says here a TL single, but Ray Fisher is a TR. That's going to be an out. And it is going to be a ground ball to second, and Roth will advance to third. Ground out to second, Roth goes to third base on a 4-3 put out. And now with 2 down, the batter is Kopp. Kopp is 0 for 2, walked but reached on an error. So a big run at third base now. Fisher trying to keep it there. Fans here at Redland Field hoping that maybe Fisher can come through. And of course, I can't get the ball in the hole there. Where did it go? Go underneath that. No. Underneath that. No. One thing about that tower. Timeout for a dice delay, as usual. I know it's still on the desk because it didn't fall off. And it disappeared on me. So where did you go? Oh, one underneath that. Okay. It's a 32, and that is a, let's see, that is an 8. And 32 says PDBL -8. Now, I believe that means a double. He only had 2 doubles, a PDBL -8, and that is an 8. So I believe that's going to be an out because 8 - 8 is 0. And he's not going to have that is not, just has feline delays. Yes, I have dice delays. So batter double -8. And I know the rule, if it's it works almost like a home run over here. So an 8 - 8 is a 0, and that's going to be an out. And it will be he is sitting from the left side. That's going to be a ground out to second. So taken care of there by Rath, and the throw goes to first, and the inning is over. No runs, a hit, a stolen base. And we go to the bottom of the 8th inning here, still 3-2 in favor of the Athletics. No closers in this era either. Yes, there really are no closers. There were a couple of pitchers that do have saves. Of course, they didn't have the save statistic in 1919, but the baseball guys went ahead and did stats to see what saves there were back then. Bottom of the 8th, 3-2. Rollie Naylor will continue to pitch. He can still pitch to 7 more batters before he tires. Heine Groh leads off for the Reds. Yeah, saves weren't official until much later. That is correct. Naylor will pitch 55, and that is a good start. That's going to be a base hit for Groh. That's a 16. A 1-10 would have been a triple, but that is a 16. Groh will get on base. At least the tying run is on. So Heine Groh gets on base to lead off for the Reds. And now the batter is Roush. So Groh on it first. Fans here at Redland Field, which of course would be known as Crosley Field later. It's the same stadium. So Naylor will go ahead and pitch to Roush. 14, that's going to be an out. And is that going to be a ground ball? Yes, it is a ground ball to second base. And the 14 is an out X, which means that's going to be an automatic double play. That's going to be a 4-6-3 double play, 2 outs. Pretty much that the out X probably means if you had an out X there probably on your batter card, that means you probably hit into a lot of double plays. So here's Neil. That kills a rally. Neil is 0 for 3. 2 outs now. Naylor, 62, and that's going to be an out. That's going to be actually a 1-4 is a strikeout. The 16 is too high, but that's going to be an out anyway. It'll be a ground ball, hit the second, taken care of by Witt. Throw goes to first, and the side is retired. No runs and a hit for the Reds. The World Series champions are down by 1, and the Cincinnati Reds are running out of outs. Top of the 9th. Leading off for the Athletics will be Cy Perkins. Fisher will stay on the mound. Perkins is 0 for 2 with a walk. Fans here at Redland Field saying, hey, come on, we won the World Series. And, of course, every Reds fan will say, geez, this plays like inside pitch. Rigged. Fisher will pitch 45, and that's going to be an out. And that is a ground out, and that will be ground out to third. Picked up there by Groh, and that is out number 1. Rollie Naylor is the batter. The question is, do I want him to hit? So what am I going to do with the Athletics here? They do have. I could bring in a closer. Let me see who it would be. Fisher. Let's see. 1, 3, 4. Does anybody have any saves? I think Naylor's going to stay in there. I think Naylor is going to stay in there. I don't think there was only one pitcher with 1 save in that year. But then again, of course, the Athletics that year were terrible. Naylor's going to try to go the distance. It's going to be a complete game. So Fisher's going to pitch to Naylor. That's a 44. Has struck him out. And he'll get the K on that. So strikeout for Fisher. And now the batter is Witt. So Witt is 2 for 4. He's got a single and a double. Yes, they were one of the worst teams in history in 1919. Fisher, 46. And that's no park home run. That is a 6. Witt's a lefty. And that's going to be a foul ball fouled into the stands. We'll do it again. 46 again. That's a 17. And this time it's a chance to stretch a single into a double. So again, a 46 off the ballpark. But now it's a 17, and it says stretch single into double or out at second. All right. It's fielded by the left fielder. Use the outfielder's assist rating to check the safer route. The left fielder is Sherry McGee. His assist rating is a 0. No way he can get it. It has no arm at all. Witt will take second base. So Witt has his second double of the game and has a big run at second base for Whitey Witt. So Witt now at second and a big chance for Thomas. And Thomas is 1 for 4. 2 outs here, top of the 9th. 3-2 Athletics. Only 3 outs away from knocking off the World Series champions. Whitey Witt, Ray Fisher trying to get out of it. Fisher will pitch. 14, he will. And that is going to be ground out to third base. And that'll be taken by Groves. Groves got it, throws to first. And the inning is over. No runs and a hit for the Athletics. But the Reds are down 3-2 here. But will we see some 9th inning magic? Will we see 9th inning magic here at Fall Classic like we do see 9th inning magic in inside pitch? Rollie Naylor will come on to pitch for the Athletics. 3-2 here, bottom of the 9th. Larry Koff is the batter for the Reds. He will bat. He has a 270 average, and he will swing. He's also a switch hitter. Fans here at Redland Field hoping the Reds can come back here and win this game. Naylor will pitch. 22, and that's going to be, wow! A 22, a 1-19 is a base hit. That's a 20. It's an out. Holy cow! Larry Koff is going to be robbed of a single, and that is going to be a ground ball to first base. And that's taken there by Burns. He'll throw to Naylor covering the bag, and that's one out. A 1-19, he has a base hit, and a 20, he is out. Wow. Larry Koff just misses it. 95% chance on that roll to get a base hit, and he doesn't. Here's Sherry McGee. We now may see a batter for him. And let's take a look at the bench. And let's see. Funny thing is, some of the pitchers actually hit better than the batters. Sharon McGee is what? The left fielder? Sharon McGee is going to come out of the game, and coming on to pinch hit for him is going to be Pat Duncan. Has a little home run power. And he'll take over in left field. So Pat Duncan will come on to bat against Naylor, a 244 average. 17 RBIs, 2 home runs. He's a better hitter. So one out here. Rollie Naylor 2 outs away from the number 16 seed pulling off the upset. 31. And that's going to be a base hit by Duncan. A 31 here is a blank off the batter card. You go to Naylor's card. And a 31 is going to be a single. The tying run is on. How big was that out, the first out? So Pat Duncan becomes, we're not doing no double switches. No need to do double switches because I use the whole roster for the teams. So Duncan is on first. The tying run is there. And that will bring up Wingo. And Wingo's got a decent hitter, 273 average. Wingo is 1 for 3. So Pat Duncan is on first. And he's a fast runner. Naylor will pitch to Wingo. 1 out here. Bottom of the 9th, 3-2. Naylor sets up, and he will pitch. 14, and that is going to be an out. And it will be a fly out to center field. And getting there will be Walker. He'll make the catch. 2 down. And that brings up Ray Fisher, the pitcher. And he is a very capable hitter, and he's going to bat. Ray Fisher is going to come up to bat. He has a 271 average. So Ray Fisher is going to bat for himself here. And he's got a good chance to maybe get a base hit to keep it going. So here comes Ray Fisher. He batted 271 with 5 RBIs. He's going to get a chance. 2 outs. 3-2 Athletics. 1 out away from pulling off the upset, knocking off the Reds. Fans here at Redland Field can't believe it. Naylor looking in on Fisher. Fans are once again loud, hoping Fisher can come through with a hit. Here comes the windup and the deal. 21, and that's going to be an out. And it's going to be a fly ball to center field. Going back for it is Tilly Walker. He takes 2 steps to his right, puts out his glove. Blop. And the ball falls into it. That's your game. The Philadelphia Athletics knock off the number 1 seed Cincinnati Reds 3-2. Stadium barfs. Yeah. No runs and a hit for the Reds. And Rollie Naylor goes the distance. And a 3-2 victory for the Athletics. They will move on, and they will play the winner of game number 2 that we will have on Tuesday night. And yes, there will be a number of upsets. Are we pretty sure that if we played a best of 7 here between the Athletics and the Reds would probably beat them? But this is a one-and-gone tournament, and that's how it will go as as the 1919 Cincinnati Reds are won and gone. Final line score coming up. For the Athletics, 3 runs on 9 hits and 1 error. For the Reds, 2 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. The winning pitcher is Rollie Naylor. He will go the distance. He'll get the complete game and go to 1-0. And it'll be a tough loss for Slim Sallee as he'll drop to 0-1. No save because, well, Naylor went the distance. So the Philadelphia Athletics knock out the World Series champions for 1919, the Cincinnati Reds. They are out. So the Athletics will play the winner of the Brooklyn Robins and Pittsburgh Pirates game, and we will have that game on Tuesday night. And we'll have the final hockey game of my Stratomatic Bruins Panthers series tomorrow night. So Tuesday night, it'll be game 2 of this one and gone tournament. The number 9 Brooklyn Robins taking on the number 8 Pittsburgh Pirates. Leon Kadori will go for the Robins, and Babe Adams will be pitching for the Pirates. That will be at Forbes Field, so don't miss that game, as I hope you guys will join me for that one as we continue this one and gone tournament for Fall Classic Baseball. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Please leave a like on your way out to the turnstiles. Subscribe if you're not done so, and make sure you hit the bell. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart, stay strong. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for some hockey and Tuesday night for game 2 of the series. The Philadelphia Athletics knock off the number 1 Cincinnati Reds. They win it tonight 3-2. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Have a good one, and thank you for watching.